Want to learn how our family of 6 goes to Chipotle for 25 bucks and change? Keep listening to this episode of The Catholic Money Show. You smell that?
Smells like guac.
Smells and like savings.
Chicken.
Ooh! I smelled fresh chips.
Good chips.
Ooh, good chips.
We have a restaurant in our local area that makes good chips, extra good chips at Chipotle. And we wanted to do a reboot of a very popular episode that we have had on the Catholic Money Show for years. It ranks in the top 10 episodes every year.
Probably top 3.
And we've been doing this podcast now for, I don't even know.
We don't
6
even
years?
number the episodes anymore. We are in the probably the 200 somethings.
And this episode, time and time again, doesn't fail. It's a popular one. But I think it's time that we revisit it because Chipotle has had some policy changes. They've had some price changes.
I mean,
and our family has changed.
Absolutely, yeah. It was episode 66. How our family of 5 eat at Chipotle for $14.31. That was 4.5 years ago.
So at the time, I forget when that podcast episode was published in 2020. So we had a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. That was, what a steal of a meal. Why were we even eating at home? Now that we're on the other side of inflation, what were we thinking? Anyway, as our family now has shifted and grown as the years have gone by, we thought, you know what, let's just do a reboot of this because there are many people that are out there that this could benefit. We now have a 10.5, 8.5, and 6.5-year-old as long as
about a 1.5.
And about a 1.5-year-old. And you know, I think that kid seems to have some sort of a hollow leg. He eats as much as the older children, which is crazy. Maybe that's just the difference between having girls and then now having a boy. Yeah. I don't know. But feels like we've definitely got 4 kids eating regular meals now. And then, of course, Jonathan and I. So, and then, of course, we've had all this inflation over the last several years. And many families have been feeling like they can't go out to eat ever at all. It's just now beyond, or they're going to add to the credit card in order to make it possible. We don't want that to happen to you. And so we want to share our best tips on Chipotle. Yeah. Now, we would be remiss if we didn't first point out, you can go on to TikTok right now. You can go on to Instagram Reels, which are just TikToks from a month ago now being shared.
That's how I get mine.
And you can learn about hacks of how to get this humongous meal at Chipotle for $5.20.
Yeah, when somebody said, "Oh, I got this whole burrito for $1.50." I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna tell you they're ordering 1 taco on the app, and they're ordering extra everything on the side, and then they put it all together into this kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Or I've seen families, the way families have hacked it together is they get like 12 to 15 taco shells, just the shells. And then they order just a thing of meat and then they get all the sides. Anyway, they're always impressive numbers, but I'll tell you this. They also get Chipotle's attention and then they stop serving these. Because they are exploitive and they're almost just too gimmicky.
Yes.
Too gimmicky, and we just can't recommend that as a strategy. I get it. It might make things less expensive for 6 months, and then the viral content has gotten out there so much. Now Chipotle is losing money, and now it's all
and now you can't order a taco on the app.
No, I don't think you can.
Thanks a lot.
Our strategy is not going to go there. I do think Chipotle deserves to receive compensation for the food that they are giving our family. There's not a need to try to pay them only $3 and then have our entire family of 6 somehow walk away full. That doesn't feel quite right. And so we're not going to recommend strategies like that.
No. But our strategy is a great strategy. It is that balance between doing something a little different and not going crazy and walking out with, 16 things on the side and having to recreate the whole, buffet line at home. So
it's also on the other side of that. I also saw this one on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes TikTok thinks I'm in a different tax bracket. But it was a family of, I think, 13, and they went out to eat at Chipotle. And it was, come with me and see what our family spent at Chipotle. Now, these videos, sometimes I think they're created almost to induce rage from other people.
Sure.
And I guarantee you Chipotle comped their meal.
I don't know.
Maybe at some level there was some partnership going on. Just, like the recording in the restaurant and all of that. Anyway, maybe there wasn't. Probably there was. Or some sort of a reimbursement later. Right. Everybody in their family, including like the 3-year-old, is getting their own meal. I'm seeing 5-year-olds with giant burritos the size of an adult's head. An adult can barely eat one of those giant burritos. So it just was impractical, and that is just, it was set up for a ton of waste. They didn't show you any of the waste and stuff they threw away at the end
of the meal.
No, but you just had to look at it and you knew a tremendous amount was going to be wasted or taken home. Hopefully they took it home. But
Dad's eating it tomorrow.
We're not going to go ahead and share that either. We're not just going to say, everybody get whatever they want. That doesn't save you money. That certainly doesn't save you money. And oftentimes it ends up just contributing to waste culture. So how do the Tixeras split this?
Well, first I want to look at kind of the typical order. If we did a typical order.
Okay.
Kind of like that family a little bit. So if we did 2 burrito bowls for us, the kids each got the kids' meal quesadilla, and then a chips and guac to share.
Is that a regular or a large?
A regular.
Okay, regular.
And then some drinks. That would be $60.40 in the Omaha metro market.
Okay, yeah, right. If you're in New York City or LA.
Probably a whole lot more.
Did you add tax to that?
That was what the app said it was just going to charge me, so I think that includes tax.
Maybe. Sometimes you got to go to that next. Well, you know what I mean?
I didn't want to hit pay with Google Pay. And then I might be ordering that.
They even open. Maybe they were.
They were, yeah. They were still available when I looked it up.
Okay, so maybe not.
So tax. Yeah, maybe our we're going to Chipotle for 60 bucks. But we don't go to Chipotle for $60. We go for 25 and change. And here's how we do it. We get 2 chicken burrito bowls. Why chicken? 1, it's delicious.
It might be my favorite. It's my favorite meat there.
When we have a free one because of points, I'll get steak. I'll play around with the other meats when it's free. They're not as good.
The steak's rubbery. It's not seasoned.
It's just not one. They had the spicy steak that time. That was good. But anyway.
Chicken's the best.
So it's delicious and it is the cheapest. So that's great.
That works out.
So 2 of those. We'll get to ordering strategies after we reveal the whole order.
Okay.
So 2 chicken burrito bowls, a chips and guac regular, and 4, count them, 4 side tortillas.
Which they now charge for.
Yes, back at when we did that other episode, I remember we did it, and as I was checking out, the person checking me out said to me, he goes, hey, in about a week, we're going to have to start charging you for these tortillas.
How much is it? Like 50 cents?
I think now it's 75 maybe. Ooh, but it's a big tortilla. It's hard to find a tortilla that big.
It's humongous.
And it gets all steamed, so it's stretchy. It's great. All right. So that's the order. That's it. And we walk out of there.
Well, what do we drink?
Water at home.
Well, but if we eat
if we're in, we just get water cups.
We get a water cup.
And Chipotle is one, I think, yes, it is one of those great places that not only has the little water button on the fountain, but also
the soda water.
The water with bubbles button.
Mm-hmm. So we get the fizzy water.
Yeah.
Just the plain carbonated water.
Mm-hmm.
The kids love it. Okay.
I love it.
So yeah, that's the strategy. And before anybody freaks out, no one is hungry at the end of this meal. Before
We had leftovers tonight.
Yeah, so nobody come at us and say, oh, you should have gotten the other one, that $60 plus version one, because there your kids would have actually not gone home and needed to eat again. Nope. This feeds the whole family.
Yeah. And here's how we do it. When you order, you gotta go in person. It's not just a myth that when you order online you get less. It is totally true.
I think there's even studies out there now.
Well, I don't know if it qualifies as a study, but some guy, they ordered
people have run
at
some
Chipotle
stats.
like
No, I think
50 times throughout New York.
Yeah, I think the Wall Street Journal staff did it or something.
They went to lunch. All right, so when you order, make sure they put in a fair amount of rice, because that sets the tone for the rest of the bowl. If there's only a little bit of rice, you only need a little bit of beans to cover it up, and a little bit of chicken. 3 pieces will do. All right, but if you got a fair amount of rice, they got to put those beans on. They got to scoop the meat, and then they got to do everything else to the same degree. So don't be afraid. Hey, I love that rice. Can you put a little bit extra in there? It's the rice. It's cheap. They don't care. They're not writing extra rice on the top of the foil.
Right.
So get some good rice and then proceed with the order. Don't forget those fajita veggies. They add a little bit of flavor for free. And don't get the queso.
Ew. No.
It's extra, and it's not extra delicious. All right, so we do that. We just do it 2 times. The 4 side tortillas, and then the chips and guac.
Now add on the extra because
step. This is what we
this
do
would actually cost more.
Yes, to get it would be $28. To get it to 25 and change, we go online ahead of time and we buy a discounted Chipotle gift card. So you normally find them for about 9% off.
Average, sometimes more, sometimes less.
So we do, yes, we buy $50 at a time, or whatever that is, 9% off, $4.50 off.
Anyway, we're saving about 10%.
So we save that money. Now, we do pay more when we're paying for it, but we go to Chipotle a fair amount. So we're going to use it. It just is going to bring it lower over time. All right. So that's what we do when we get home.
Yeah, what is
or even there, I've done it.
Yeah, we've done it there.
I take the tortillas, get them, separated because they usually double them up, fold it in quarters, and then I cut an arc off to make it smaller for 2 reasons. One, the kids just want to eat tortilla.
Yeah, we learned that a long time ago.
So I'll give them some plain tortilla, whatever. It also ends up making a nice ring, so then we can play ring toss, and they think that's a blast.
They think it's a tortilla. It's a tortilla necklace, and then they eat it.
It's super fun. And it makes their tortilla, instead of the size of, 3 heads, it's just the size of 1 head. Their head. So then we've got smaller tortillas to then empty one of the bowls out into thirds to make burritos. And these are fine sized burritos, especially for a kid.
Yes, exactly.
And the tortilla on top of it, right? So that's what we do for that one. And then the other bowl, we split between the 2 of us. My half goes into the tortilla, wrap it all up. James gets the baby. He gets a little bit of
the tortilla,
that bowl
and then the
and some tortilla. And then you eat the rest of the bowl with probably half the chips.
Half the chips and a big dollop of guac.
Yeah.
And then the kids eat the rest of and you eat the rest of the guac. But I like the chips.
Yes.
I like to eat my burrito bowl with them.
So there it is. We all are happy. And I'd say you think, oh, you're not getting a lot. You get plenty of food. You actually get to eat Chipotle and not regret it.
Mm-hmm. Nobody leaves feeling punished.
No.
But we're not hungry.
It's great.
It's really the right balance.
That's the way to do it. That's how we do it. And it's a blast.
$25.92.
That's not so bad these days.
That allows us to go out. We go to Chipotle about once a week. And that's pretty much our entire restaurant budget by the month.
That's all
if we go to Chick-fil-A once,
it's over.
$50 to $60 minimum. I'm sure we could figure out some Chick-fil-A hacks, but We just don't go enough
Yeah.
to dive
And
down.
what's
to
great
that
about this
rabbit
one
hole.
is it's again, we're not like cheaping them out. We're not ordering, a kid-sized bowl or whatever. We're not doing all these little sneaky things. We're just ordering the food and we're gonna split it up and eat it.
Because not everybody needs 1,800 calories in one meal.
Yeah. So it's nice and easy. And again, we're not reassembling everything from 15 containers. You just open the bowl, scrape it onto some tortillas.
Nothing crazy.
Boom. Easy. And delicious. So it's a great way to get more Chipotle in your life. And as you do it, you're building up the points. So every once in a while.
And tons of freebies.
It's a freebie.
Lots of freebies.
Here we go.
So there we go. It is, how much of a savings is it?
Oh, yeah. So our meal with the discounted card versus our regular meal, we are saving 48%. So, sorry, 58%. Yeah, $34.48 we're saving. So way less than half. We can go to Chipotle twice as much.
58? That says 48%.
Yeah, because I did my math wrong.
Oh.
48%.
Okay.
I just know that 52 is less than half of 60.
Are we the money people?
I didn't use a calculator on this one.
Saves a lot, folks. You can run the numbers at home.
And when you do, please let us know. Post a picture, a video. Show us your little Chipotle tricks or ours in action in your part of the world. Tag us at WalletWin on social media. And please, if you got any questions, you got any tips, maybe for Chick-fil-A,
we need those.
Send them on over to us. Email at walletwin.com. And please leave a review wherever you're listening to this podcast or watching it. It helps other people find the show and helps them know how much money you can save when they listen to the Catholic Money Show. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time. Bye for now.